Okay. That should give us basic audio connectivity. Let's put this right in my face while I get things tilted up here for us. Welcome, everyone, to Visiting Hours with yours truly, Greg. Oh. As we embark on this quiet ascent together. A little too quiet at the moment, though. Let's go ahead and get the word out that the stream is on. Let's see what we can cook up. Let's see if we're online. I believe we are. Right. Okay, the word is out on the Discord. Where else does the word need to be sent? I think I'm well weaned off of posting these things on X and Blue Sky. I don't think anyone's finding me there. Let's see if I'm wrong. Henry. Friendly Henry 88. Good evening, my friend. Did you find me already on YouTube, or is your Twitch account once again in arrears? Also, can you hear me okay? I think I'm going to bump up the levels on my mic a little bit. Banana. Ha ha. I sense a story. Oh, you just clicked on the link. Okay. Okay, so there's no story. The story is old as time. I see the thing, I click the thing. Man after my own heart. What's the best way for me to check audio levels? Probably to grab my old ear cans and just plug them right into the audio interface, probably. You've been a good boy. A little quiet. Yeah, my sense of it is it's a little quiet. Part of it is because this little stand mic is kind of hard to get close to my mouth. Other thing is, I just think I haven't quite dialed in the preamp levels. So let's do that first. Okay. Yeah, it's a little boomy, isn't it? Or am I imagining that? Like, not pleasantly so. Okay, we just reset the interface, the preamp. That seems a little less boomy. It's already a little better, but I think we can bump it up again a little more. Just a bit more. Let's see how that is. Is that too loud? It might be. Might be. What if I increase the low frequency a little bit? Make the sound a little warmer? Still quiet. Okay, so I have the way I have this set up. Yeah, it's still quiet to my ears too. Testing, 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 testing. Okay, so now what I've done is I've gone ahead and previously I had the preamp dialed in such a way that produced a certain amount of output, and then I would just manually reduce the output at the end of the chain. I just undid that output reduction. It still feels like it's perhaps a little quiet. Or are we good now? What do you think, Henry? You still think it's quiet? Well, let's give it a little more preamp. Okay, that should be a good bit. I'm hearing some noise now. Yeah, that's the problem with adding too much preamp. You know, I might need to invest in a cloud lifter. It's a device you can use to give clean, noiseless amplification to these kinds of mics. But to my ears, that volume seems a lot better. Tell me if you agree. Still quiet? See, I've prompted you enough times, I don't know actually to which level of quietness you're responding. Quite the operation we have here. Getting better, but still quiet. Getting quiet? Why are you quiet, microphone? Are you shy? Are you shy? What if I increase the amplification? Is that better? That should have made a clicking sound. Sorry about that. OBS might have some room to increase the volume. Well, how's that? Is that better? I don't really want to play with it on the OBS side. I'd much rather dial it in on the amp because that's all analog. It means the signal should be a little nicer. That, to my ears, sounds better. What you're hearing now. I just bumped up the output. Can bump it up again. How's that? Seems better. You can hear me, which is what matters. Okay. What if I add a little more low frequency? Is that too much? I don't know. Testing, testing. How's that sound? Welcome to blah, blah, blah. Okay. You know what? Let's roll with this. What I ended up doing was just adding a touch of preamp and a lot of amplification. So, okay. Well, that was fun. I'm gonna, I think, set up the other mic stand. I just got this big boy in. This week on Microphone Levels with Deeg. I mean, Greg. How's your week going, Henry? Got injured in a battle. What kind of a battle are we talking about? Battle of wits? All right. Hard piece of bread redirected your bread knife. Oh, into your finger. Ow. Oh, man. That reminds me of when I was a kid. And I was trying to open a bag of Skittles. And they did something similar. Try to figure out what the comfortable way of setting this up is. Feels all right. Yeah. Yeah, I actually still can see the scar on my finger where I did it. See if that'll focus. Probably not, huh? It's a little white line where the knife went in. So how's your finger? Vertical cut? Yeah. I mean, it was just a knife going straight in. It's still it still feels kind of funny. And if I hit it strange, it just rings my soul a little bit. So, yeah, it didn't heal quite right, I don't think. I don't know. But yeah, oh man. I was supposed to put all this energy this week into getting content going back again particularly for the YouTube. But instead, I've split the week between musical pursuits and finally getting caught up on what's going on in the world of artificial intelligence. And let me tell you, it is bonkers and exciting. I've been starting to get into agentic AI. I don't know, Henry, if you've played around with this stuff at all. I've used like the ChatGPTs. I've used tools like Perplexity, some other AI-powered tools like the one I'm using to make shorts. They're a little more purpose. Nazgul Blade, the Black Blade. So far, you've just been a consumer. Well, my eyes are opened. I had a conversation with a friend who's deep in technology and into this world, and basically told me it's not too late for you to catch up, but it's almost too late. So I've been trying to and learning all about tokens and rate limits and context windows and model sizes. I've been playing around, and I've had such a variety of experiences in just 3 days of playing with this stuff. Where what I did was I deployed OpenClaw just on this computer that I'm using right now on this MacBook, and I've just been trying to figure out how to get it set up, how to get it to talk to me, and how to get it to do simple things. And I'm already using it to automate a large percentage of my job search. I sat down, and within an hour of getting it working, I had better results from my agent looking for jobs on my behalf than I did for an hour of my own searching. I was blown away, man. Blown away. I did it again the next day, fixed a bunch of stuff. And now I have it automated. So tomorrow, what's going to happen is my agent is going to automatically at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. I don't know what time I set it for exactly. He's going to go out to the internet, read. He has a log of all my job preferences. He has a copy of my exact resume, and he's going to go out and look for all the jobs out there that I'm a fit for experience-wise, that I prefer in my job experience, filter those, and then compare that against a database of jobs I've already considered, which we're keeping track of. Only surface the ones that are new, that are net new, and then present them to me in a daily file where the agent pitches me on applying for the job based on things like compensation, work-life balance, the company, the product, the job fit, and stuff like that. And then that's not all. And then it automatically tailors my resume for that job and drafts a cover letter. And the result, and it's only been a few days, so I haven't actually gotten any interviews out of this yet. But I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Whereas I don't know, I've had a few decent-looking possibilities not come through in recent weeks. I can show you a little bit of it if you're curious, Henry. I have this like excitement about technology again that I haven't felt like. I guess I felt it in a small way last year when I first started using Obsidian for note taking. And eventually I figured out that my mind already remembers important things and I don't need note taking systems. But this is something different. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look behind the curtain here. Let's see, what can we show on the stream? I guess there's no worries me showing you my resume. Y'all already know my name. Well, there's my phone number on here and stuff too. Maybe I don't want to share that. Is that a lot of PI? Just a little bit. Well, I can show you. I can show you like the job preferences, stuff like that, and some of the yeah, I mean, who's going to see this stuff, really? And if I'm hesitant to show it on the stream, I really shouldn't be surfacing it to the AI either. If I'm honest. Okay. All right. So here, down here in the bottom right, this is my Obsidian vault where I'm holding all of my collaboration with OpenClaw. Does OpenClaw do some external API calls or is it a fully local thing? Yes, it's both. It is a local piece of software that can go out and make API calls if it needs to get work done. I'm going to give you a specific example. So I prompted it. Can I see the history here? Let me see if I can. So I'm logged in right now to a session with OpenClaw. Let's see. Yes, here we go. Here's a session where I was working with it not on job stuff. This is probably too small to read, actually. You just have to trust me on it. Where is it? That's job search stuff. Substack. So what I wanted it to do is I wanted to teach my agent how to speak like me. And so what I did is I said, okay, it needs my writing and it also needs transcripts of my videos so it can understand my voice. I have no intention of using this tool to script my videos or to write for me. Although now that is a temptation I must resist. Mainly my intent is to use it for like titles and descriptions and derivative stuff, marketing stuff. But at first I said, okay, where's my writing? It's on Substack. I actually have a local folder of all the articles I've written on Substack where I'm actually doing the writing in a different Obsidian vault. And I could have just copy pasted that in, but I said, you know what? What if I just ask the agent, say, here is my Substack. Can you just go and get all the articles in it and then save versions of them locally so we can use them as a language reference? And it did it. It went out to my Substack. It found the RSS feed. It pulled things via RSS feed. Let me show you what it did. It's so cool. So content, Substack. Here's the piece from last week. Now the spacing here is not perfect, but it's got all the content, pulled the hero image, has the metadata with the link, automatically even tags it and stuff, and it has all of my articles I've written on the Substack. It just pulled them in. I didn't tell it how to reach the RSS feed. I didn't tell it to use an RSS feed. I just said it's on Substack, go get it, and it did. And then I was going to go out for a walk. I mean, I did go out for a walk, but before I left, let's see, where is it? Maybe I started a new thread for that. Hang on. I'm still learning a little bit about how to navigate around here. I wonder if I can name these sessions. That would be nice. No, this was a health exploration that we did. Trying to learn about aspartame. I think this is it right here. Okay. Here's the prompt. Okay, now that we've got a library of my writing and what I've spoken about in public as part of this Quiet Ascent project, I think it's time to synthesize. Oh, hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's after the initial fireworks. It doesn't have my prompt. Okay, let's tell the story. So I downloaded all the Substack articles, and I was like, okay, it'd be really good to get the YouTube transcripts too. And I actually have some of those saved, but again, I thought, wait a second, why don't I just ask the agent? And what it did is it went out, it found a tool called YTDLP, it installed it on my computer, it accessed it, used it to go through all the videos that I've published on my YouTube in 2026, extract all the transcripts from them. You use YTDLP daily. Okay, you know all about it. So it discovered YTDLP. I didn't tell it about it. I didn't even know about it. Great tool. There you go. And it went ahead and on its own initiative just figured out how to organize this stuff for me. Like here's what's a recent video we've done? The video games video. Video games weren't the problem, they were the solution. So here's the last thing I asked it to do, which is to take the transcript and to create an articulated version of the transcript where it sort of turns it into an article without changing any of the language. It just kind of reorganizes it to make it more readable. If I come up to the folder, reveal in Finder, I think that's what we want. Yeah. And you can see I've got JSON with a bunch of the video properties. I've got the articulated as well as the basic transcripts and the subtitles. So I have all those ready to go. Then what I did, and then that must have run for like over an hour. I told it to take its time and go do it, go figure it out. And when I came back from my walk like an hour and a half later, it was done. There was no further input required. It didn't ask me for anything. It just figured it out and did it. So cool. And then what I asked it to do pretty insane. Yeah. And then what I asked to do, I said, okay, now we've got a library of my writing and what I've spoken about in public as part of the Quiet Ascent project. I think it's time to synthesize. I'm going to start asking you to help me write articles and descriptions for content using my style. Figure out what the best way to create a reference for my voice that you can use every time I ask you to write something for Quiet Ascent using the articles and transcripts you've so diligently retrieved. Also, let's be sure the complete process for downloading transcripts is captured and scheduled to run daily. So it went to work, synthesized everything, and created this incredible document, which I haven't used. Actually, we can try it live, ask it to write something for us. I'm actually sort of scared to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to like it too much. Voice reference. Here we go. Who Greg is. Greg is the voice behind The Quiet Ascent, a project about transformation from the inside out. He writes and speaks primarily for people who feel stuck, unseen, or who sense something unfinished in themselves. People who've suffered in silence, numb their pain with distraction, and are beginning to suspect there's a way out they haven't found yet. His own story, losing 360 pounds, ending a decade-long marriage, quitting a 25-year gaming addiction, finding faith, finding love, is not presented as a success story, but as an ongoing testimony. He's not a coach or expert. He's a fellow traveler who's walked further down a particular road and is turning back to offer a hand. The work spans Substack essays written in the letter form to Dear Friend, short YouTube videos, walking talks, usually 3 to 13 minutes, and live streams. The Substack letters have a literary, almost 19th century quality. The YouTube videos are more conversational but share the same core themes. Both formats are deeply personal, spiritually inflected without being preachy, and orient toward the reader-viewer's inner transformation. And it goes on. There's a ton of really just cool stuff here. Okay. Getting a call from my lovely wife. I'm going to take that real quick. Okay. She's just driving home. It's very sweet. She just gives me a ring when she's driving home. Is she not? It's often on Thursdays that happens. I don't know what it is about Thursdays. You close your eyes. Okay. So we were talking about this reference that my agent, who has a name, by the way, one of the first things that the agent prompts you to do is to give him a name, which is a strangely intimate thing. So my agent's name is Vesper, and I call him V for short. I read over all of this. I'm going to see if I can find anything that I found particularly interesting. That's right. Direct address patterns. Vocabulary level and register. Elevated but not academic. Uses words like abjure, pure eternus, epistrophe, unctuous, oblivion, descend, divinity, rebirth, but these appear alongside plain vernacular, dog food, clueless, sucks, bang on, rattle these off. The collision between high and low register is intentional and characteristic. It creates a sense of someone who thinks deeply but lives plainly. He avoids corporate / self-help jargon, like pivot, optimize, leverage, mindset, paradigm shift, hustle culture, other terms. He uses spiritual and theological vocabulary without apology, but frames it in human terms: rebirth, resurrection, sacrifice, glory, God, redemption, divinity. He acknowledges that these words alienate some readers and addresses this directly. Words like rebirth, sacrifice, divinity, to you, I believe these carry a weight, a damp cloying you've learned to shock. Anyway, so this seems like incredible I want to use the word ammunition. It makes it sound violent. Should we give it a try? Should we give it a go? I think we should give it a go. And ask it to write something for us. I think we should do it. Do we have a new session here? Let's just create a new session. Okay. I'm thinking about a prompt. Okay. Draft a new piece for Quiet Ascent on Substack. Analyze the existing body of work and any unfinished and choose a thread ripe for plucking. I'm just going to put it that way. Draft the letter using my voice reference and show it to me. All right. Ah, you exceeded your current quota. Oh, it's okay. We don't want to use GPT. Let's use Claude. Claude is smart. Claude is smarter. Model. Let's go to Sonnet. And we're just going to send that same instruction to Claude. This is one of the technicalities of this, is dealing with quotas and rate limits, and it's boggling. Okay, it wrote something. There's a powerful thread in your work about the danger of comfort, but I think there's a specific insidious version of this ripe for plucking, the trap of healing. Oh, shit. It's the moment someone finally escapes their chaos, builds a safe, quiet life, and uses that safety as an excuse to stop moving entirely. Oh. They become terrified of the dark that actually shaped them. Wow. Okay. I'm afraid this is going to be too good. I'm really afraid. The waiting room. Dear friend, you have built a very quiet life for yourself. I know the chaos you had to crawl out of to get here. I know the habits you had to break, the people you had to leave behind, The late nights spent wrestling with your own mind just to secure this small, manageable patch of ground. You have insulated the walls. You have caulked the windows against the draft. You tell yourself that this safety is the reward for all your suffering. You believe the absence of pain is the same thing as the presence of life. It is not. You are confusing a waiting room for a home, and I write to you today because I can see you settling in. You've laid down your sword, believing the war is over simply because the enemy stopped shooting. But the silence you are sitting in is not peace. It is just a pause. You've become so terrified of returning to the dark that you have bolted the door, turned on every artificial light in the house, and called it illumination. Now be honest. You know the air in the room is getting stale. You know that the gift you carry is pacing the floorboards, hungry and restless. There is a fuel in you that was meant to be burned, not stored. But burning requires oxygen, and oxygen requires opening the window to the cold, unpredictable wind of the world you have been hiding from. You are using your healing as an excuse to hide. You say you are protecting your peace. You are protecting your pride. To really change, something inside of us has to die. But to live, the thing that survived the dying must eventually stand up and walk out of the tomb. You cannot stay wrapped in the grave clothes just because they are soft. Go down into the cellar of your own house. Interrogate that darkness you locked away when you decided to be safe. Make it conscious. Let the darkness stand beside you in the torrent. The path upward requires the weight of everything you are trying to ignore. Break the seal on your quiet life. Let the draft in. Just start, my friend. I hope these words find you at peace, my friend, and may they set you on the path to glory. God bless. Warmly your friend. Well. Okay. Yeah, 80%. 80%. It plucked a really good theme that I would actually write about. That's one. It had some banger, like kind of statements, like you are protecting your pride. I'll say that there's aspects, there are moments where I like to inject some more conversationality into my writing in order to soften things, and that's not really present here. It's a little perhaps harsher. Also, especially the introductory paragraph is way more, I don't know, it goes on way more than I would. And it's reusing a lot of language that feels a bit plasticky for it. But I don't know, like I suspect that if I were to tweak this and give it feedback and say, let's try to reuse my words less and be more conversational. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking through it. The main thing that it feels like it lacks is it doesn't quite get past the formula. Like, it's definitely executing a quiet ascent formula, and you can feel the math. But there's something about what we're doing here that doesn't add up. The air in the room is getting stale. That the gift you carry is pacing the floorboards, hungry and restless. The gift you carry, where's the idea of the gift? It's in my other writing. This is the first time the word appears in this. See, if I were writing that myself, I would want to make sure that the gift was more grounded in what we were saying here. Fuel, another thing that's borrowed from another piece. Oxygen is novel. Oxygen is not a word that I've used. Healing also is not a word I've described or vilified in any way, even though it's right to anticipate that I would suspect anyone or any state described as healed. Pretty fun experiment. I will say that I'm relieved. It is not as good as I feared it would be, but it is still very good. So this is the work that I've been doing. This is just the beginning. What if a follow-up prompt fixes it? Do you want to... If you're curious, we can keep following this thread. I got nothing else planned for this time. We're just talking. Okay, let's... You'll take the responsibility. Substack, the draft, content... Substack draft. Yeah. Pretty good start. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can elevate it. I believe it's missing. I believe it over relies on image and language reuse from my... Lift this dependency by 50%. And let's make sure that when we invoke big ideas like gifts or what else? Or dark or light, that they are developed to support. They are developed within the piece rather than parachuted in. Let's also turn down the verbosity a bit, and if we can, introduce a bit more poetry, a bit more poetic language and wordplay. Being harsh is okay, but we need to leaven that harshness with warmth. Look for moments to soften. To love and to directly address our reader, who is a friend and is also a part of us. Lastly, it needs a completely novel creative element, not derived from my existing work. This one's on you. This one's on you to find. I set you on the path. Walk it yourself and see where it takes you. All right. Oh, it's using Gemini now instead of Claude. Probably means we're not going to get as strong as of a result. It's been funny getting to this world. You can feel how intelligent the different models are. like the Google Gemini model is kind of like a smart teenager. Like it's very good at doing exactly what you asked, but it's not good at doing what you mean. I found that Claude, Sonnet, I haven't even used Opus yet, but Sonnet is very patient, thorough, and pretty good at understanding what you mean for it to do. Quite the prompt. Why, thank you. Let me think through this carefully before writing. The draft leans on borrowed vocab. These are Greg's greatest hits, not fresh ground. I need a genuinely novel image as the spine of the piece, and everything else has to be built around it, not dropped in. The novel element I'm bringing in, amber. Ancient resin, warm golden, flowing once. Then it hardened around something in the exact moment of its emergence and preserved it perfectly. The thing inside is beautiful, never finished becoming what it was becoming. That's the trap of safe living after suffering, not laziness. Amber. Here's the revised draft. Here's what I changed and why. Oh, I like that. What's gone? Fuel, gift, interrogate the darkness, go down into it, just start, grave clothes, sword imagery, all retired. These are your greatest hits. They don't belong in a new piece uninvited. The novel element. Let's read the piece. Cut probably 30% of the words. Direct address. The sharpest line, you did not escape your suffering, you became its memorial, is immediately preceded by a genuine honoring. Oh, I think this is going to be really good. All right. Let's see the revised version. Let's read it. I'm seeing I already picked it up. The waiting room. Dear friend, I know something about you that you have not said aloud. You survived something. Really survived it. Crawled through the kind of suffering that rearranges a person down to the studs. And when you came out the other side, you chose, wisely, lovingly, sensibly, to rest, to stop bleeding, to build something small and stable that no one could take from you. The bleeding stopped a while ago, and you are still standing very still. Here's what I think happened. In the moment of your emergence, tender, trembling, new, the world offered you something that felt like peace, quiet, order. You accepted it. You ought to have, but acceptance became settlement, and settlement became permanence. And somewhere in that slow drift, you did a thing you did not notice. You went still. Not still like deep water, still like amber. Do you know what amber is? It is an ancient tree resin, warm and golden once, flowing, doing exactly what living things do. Then one day it hardened around something mid-fall, a moth, a seed, a fragment of bark, and preserved it so perfectly you could weep at the beauty of it. So perfectly that the thing inside never got to finish falling. You look like gold, my friend, but you have gone cold. Oh, ba-dum-tsh. This is the cruelty of the trap. It wears your own face. The careful life feels wise. You can point to the ruin you left behind and say rightly, look how far I've come. And I will not take that from you. The distance you've traveled is real, and I see it. I honor it with everything I have. But coming is not arriving, and arriving is not living there. What is it you have pressed into the amber? Don't answer quickly. Something in you, a thing you were in the middle of becoming when the pain was loudest, got sealed in when you sealed the door, preserved intact, not alive. You did not escape your suffering. You became its memorial. Open the window. I'm not asking for chaos, not for a return to the wreckage, nor for any of the old fire you rightly let burn out. I am asking only for the ordinary cold, the difficult conversation, the embarrassing beginning, the work you have been meaning to do for 18 months, the chill that tells you are still here, still soft, still capable of surprise. You survived in order to become, not in order to be survived. I hope these words find you peace, my friend, the restless kind, the kind that still has somewhere to go. Better, but still not there. We've gotten like 85%. When I write, this is actually interesting from just a self-analysis perspective. When I write, I will oftentimes choose to say something that is less clear because it is more beautiful. Felt like it's losing my voice. Yeah, it did feel like it got away from the kind of punchy boom, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, boom kind of thing. I do like that it made an attempt to extend the metaphor, but I think it got over relied upon. It feels like by the end it was grasping a little bit. I think it's better to under-explain, under-elucidate, under-enunciate anything that's worth saying. You were thinking about Jurassic Park, to be honest. Bingo! Dino DNA! Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, this is a comfort to me in a way, because I know that actually, if I wanted to get like 99% of what I could do, it would take probably a lot more work, and there's no guarantee that even putting in the work, it would get to a result. It might be I could develop the voice reference a bit, give it some more guidance, give him some more guidance, our friend V. It could be that I could shop around for models and try to find one that's really good at writing. There are probably some models that are really tuned well for writing. You think you'll do better as an idea machine because the core idea it picked was legit. Good insight. Let's pivot. Let's pivot. Let's turn on that for a minute. Does the amber earn its place? Oops. This is pretty solid. Ha. I'd say it's about 85% towards inhabiting my voice. Maybe more like 70%. That's okay. Let's discard the draft for now, but keep the idea. Here's where I think our collaboration can really shine. Help me identify great ideas like this one. It is a truly great idea that I would actually pick for an article. Rainy morning in Oblivion. That sounds just perfect. It's a little loud, huh? Let me know if that's too loud. I'm finding So create let's go back through my Substack content looking for threads again and surface prompts for for me to write in future pieces. All right, just see what it comes up with. I'm going to check my OpenAPI account. I think it may be that I've actually used up all my tokens there. I only had $10 in tokens. Let's see. Usage. Yeah, I've used up my spend. Oh, should I give me another $10? So here's the other thing about this. This is costing me money. I'm guessing that this exploration of all this writing and stuff probably cost me like maybe $3 to $5 in API tokens. It's not like there's no cost to it. Something that I'm gonna, I don't know, whenever this becomes a business, it'll be a business expense. Good. I've read all 20 pieces front to back. Now let me actually do the analysis work. I've noticed when I work with Claude that Claude streams to me, whereas a lot of these other models are like more transactional, like prompt response. Claude like streams to me, and I could like write stuff back midstream. It's really good. Okay, here are the ideas. It's suggesting a continuity from the Overcoat. Actually, I already have Overcoat Part 2 rattling around up here. Let's see what it's come up with. Puer Aeternus. You wrote, I was sick with the sense that I was a sort of musical Puer Aeternus, forever full of potential. You dropped it in a single line and moved on, but this is enormous. The eternal youth who's always becoming and never being. This is distinct from procrastination. You've written that and let tomorrow die. Is procrastination the best word to describe that article? That's like such a reduction. This is subtler and more seductive. The person who uses self-improvement itself as a shield against a rival, who builds one more thing, learns one more thing, heals one more thing. Because arriving means being judged on what you actually are, not for what you're becoming. Your audience is full of these people. Is that true? You might be one of them in some part of your life right now, probably. Forever becoming, or the unfinished man. I mean, it's a pretty decent idea. I probably need to embody it in my imagination in order to really write about it. Sequel to Animal Feed that was promised. That's true. I did write Animal Feed as a bigger idea that I got halfway through and said, okay, this is actually enough for 1 week, and I'll come back to it. I never came back to it. And then I tried to come back to it, and I realized that the thing I wanted to come back to was a little bigger than me. Like, I don't think I'm ready to write that article yet. Your exact words, there's another way, another one to feed, but enough for one day. We'll talk of it soon. That was February 10th. Follow-up never came. Your readers are still waiting for what feeds the other thing, the non-animal, the deeper self. What is its food? Actually, I just heard a sermon about Jesus meeting the woman at the well, talking about spiritual water, something like that. What do you think of these ideas, Henry? Joy as a sacred obligation. Ooh. Oh, shit. I'm not good at joy. Actually, I thank God for my wife. She is really good at joy. She shows me how to do it. You've not written a letter that actually takes delight seriously as its central subject. Not as a reward for suffering, not as a symptom of healing, but as a duty. This may be more of an item for personal growth than writing, or maybe both. It's something you owed to yourself and to God. There's a theology of joy implicit in everything you write, but you've never said it plainly. That to refuse delight is a kind of ingratitude. Ooh. The person who can no longer be surprised by beauty has lost something essential. The moment in the shower when your voice came back and you slept well. That was the whole letter, and you buried it at the end of the day's devotion. Dig it up. Give it the full treatment. Shit. V's right. V is right. Only I can rate them? Yeah, but we're talking. All right. If this is just a self-exploration, I can park this. I'll just have it save these ideas. The self that went missing. Oh, yeah. Interesting. V thinks that this is the most vulnerable line in the whole corpus. I have made of myself such a person to people that I have lost what I am to myself. And I have persuaded myself that this is for the good. Yeah. That was a... Oh, shit. That was and is a hell. A hell that I'm in. That's what I'm working on right now. There's a full piece waiting here about the person who becomes everybody's person and nobody's own. Yeah. Yeah. Boredom versus as threshold. Who am I? Above all, I am here. And here's where I want to be. But I don't know how. I want to. There's something of like a grain of sand inside that's wanting to be polished into a pearl. Some kind of dissatisfaction with the simple reductions of the beauty and depth of life that we propagate and inhabit in order to fit our life into our minds, which allows us to justify it, represent it, defend it. I'm here to live an indefensible life. I think it's the only kind. I don't apologize very often, but there's apology in my action. Something like, I don't know, life kind of reprimanded me, I guess, a few years ago. And I feel like I'm still but I've been getting signals. I've been getting signals that it's time to come out. And that's what that piece of friend was about. Very strong signal I got from a friend. That's about all I got on Who Is Me for tonight, I think. Boredom as threshold. Number 5. You've never written about what happens when the distraction actually stops, when the feed runs out and you're left sitting in plain, raw, unmedicated boredom. The ghost of the almost you. Last idea. Your reading of Gogol ends with the ghost who haunts the city looking for what was taken from him. You made it about dreams deferred and the cost of daring, but there's an adjacent piece about the other ghost. Not the dream that was stolen, but the person you were on track to become before the pivot, the lost choice, the version of you that didn't make it through the door. People carry these ghosts, the marriage that didn't happen, the career that they left, the version of themselves they abandoned when they chose survival. A piece about regret. Interesting. Yeah, it didn't quite understand the subtlety of that piece that the character died. And the ghost is a spirit of that character that remains with the people of the city. Described in the story as a literal ghost. But yeah, part 2 of that will be a broadening out. And it's going to end up being a reflection on, which I guess I have to write this tomorrow. Tomorrow's my only day to write, really. It's a reflection on can't find the words for it. I guess that's the purpose of the writing. It's something about the purpose of suffering. And particularly unjustified, or what we perceive as being unjustified. Something like that. Okay. Let's log these ideas. Let's log these ideas. Save them in a dedicated drafts folder for the Substack. For me to revisit later. So I probably won't need to actually use these ideas to sit and write, because ideas are actually not the thing that I'm short on. It's the time to actually create. Don't even need to write them down yourself. I think you do need to tinker with OpenClaw, Henry. one of the things I haven't gotten back to is thinking about a website. Feels like I need to unfold a few other things before that comes back to the top of my radar. Still really blown away with what Manus pulled off on a whim, basically. I think something about what V captured, what Vesper captured about the role that I occupy in my explorations, not being as a coach or guide, but as a fellow traveler. I think there's truth in that. And I need to think about what it looks like to occupy that role, and also what it looks like to have an offering based on that role. You stole mostly the sample site I made and hosted it on your VPS. Cool. Henry, I probably will ask for your help with that. I really appreciate it, brother. Really do. We'll talk more about it. But I believe I hear the tinkle of keys, which means my lovely wife has arrived. So I'm going to call this lovely stream a night. Henry, it's been good, brother. Hope you have a really lovely weekend and an excellent week. Hope your battle wounds heal expeditiously. You give me all the codes and stuff, and when you become a brand risk, so I can download the website and host it elsewhere. A brand risk. Yeah, I don't know what I think about that. God, help me if I ever have to think about that. Yes, when the time is right. Right now the time is right to say goodbye. For now. Henry, take care, my friend. All my other friends, please take care. See you next time. God bless.